Welcome to Across the Whoniverse, a Doctor Who marathon podcast. I'm your friendly neighborhood Time Lord Chels.
And I'm your Muppet of a Time Lord Paige.
And y'all, we have two of our best returning companions. We've kidnapped them. We've gone back to the 80s, baby. Gavin, Sharai, welcome back to the TARDIS. Sorry that it's gonna disappear, but Sharai, you're the person we need for this episode because it's a Scary Berry episode.
Listen, I had not seen this episode in years, and today I was like, why have I not rewatched this season in too long? Also, I'm still team we slept on Eccleston and we only got one season with him because he has all the correct responses. I know we're gonna get into it, but everything he
We're
said,
gonna get into it. Yep.
I was like, she needs to hear this. No, and tell her again. Fight her. If you want to fight her, I will hold your jacket. That's stylish and pleather because budgets. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Gavin, welcome back. You are a 3-time companion at this point this season?
I am. And once again, so sorry. I think I left my hair stuff, my hair paste in the TARDIS, and so I have to wear a hat. Not that
it's
anybody
okay.
listening
We're
can
making
see,
you a
but...
little apartment. You just have to
thank
go
God.
3 stories down, go to the left beyond the blue swimming pool, but then you have to
Okay.
turn left at the green swimming pool, and then your room's
you know,
there.
You know I'm colorblind.
Exactly. That's why we fuck with you.
We're torturing you. It's a little bit of psychological torture for fun.
Exactly. For funsies. You have
I
a puzzle box.
I do like that you genuinely picked 2 colors I can't see, blue and green.
Yeah.
So,
Gavin, I terrorize on purpose. You know this. Y'all, I am actually the master today. But y'all, this episode, let's just dive right in. So much happens. This is Series 1, Episode 8, Father's Day, written by Paul Cornell, directed by Joe Aron, one of Christopher Eccleston's favorite directors. This originally aired on the 14th of May, 2005, and it features Ninth Doctor, Rose Tyler, Jackie Tyler, Pete Tyler, the Reapers, which are technically not even mentioned. They're just the Scary Berry things that I say are coming at us. And this is set in London on November 7th, 1987. But y'all, before we get too far into this episode, we have some fun questions for y'all. In honor of the Tyler family, this is a family reunion episode of sorts. Let's talk about other favorite companion families because we have so many. We have Martha's family, we have the Pawns, and that crazy situation. We have Yaz's family, Graham and Ryan, who are some of our favorite companion families.
You know, I am an Amy Pond girl. Also knowing who her mother is, no notes, River Song, no notes. Sorry to people who are listening for the first time and watching along. I ruined so much for you. You're welcome.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. But I mean that is a family that is my first family of Who. I am also here for Graham and Ryan because to not ruin that, they had a very sad beginning, and then they were like, no, we're together and we're stronger, and also we believe women doctors. We know they can happen. They're real. She's driving the TARDIS. We're in.
They were brought together by 2 bad bitches and Yaz as well. And Yaz is also a bad bitch, but she's not their mother.
No.
But 13 is the father who stepped up.
I also just appreciate that Graham was relatable because he's like, these adventures take too long. I'm packing sandwiches. And I'm like, that would be me. Oh no.
It's like, I need to sit. I need a sandwich. Let's go to a spa. Whoopsie. I got us into a scam spa.
Listen, it's like Saturn in the year 3090 is cool, but I'm hungry. That's definitely how I travel now. Yeah.
So relatable. Gavin, do you have a favorite Who family?
I feel like a broken record, sadly, but I really love Martha Jones's family, and specifically,
they're the best. They suffered for everybody's sins.
Yeah, truly, and specifically Francine Jones, who's played by Adjoa Ando. She's so that first of all, as an actress, so good, but screen presence, baby, she shows up, and you're just like, I'm following her now.
I'm
gonna do whatever she says.
She's in Bridgerton, and I'm like, that's the character I would want to be.
I knew
cool.
she's had a good career since this as well. I've not watched Bridgerton. I know, but yeah, she's such a fantastic
Not
actress.
even for our Julie Andrews episode. How dare you?
I know. Isn't she only in the miniseries? I don't know. Is she
No.
on? Oh, okay.
Julie
Well,
Andrews is in every episode, technically.
wow. Louis hinted at that the other night on the mixed reviews, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a dum dum.
That means you have to watch it all.
I guess so.
You do. But y'all, I agree. I love all of these families. Who else? I'm gonna shout out Ruby's family as well, her adopted family. And they're just great. Even though the writing is not always great for them, I just love all those actresses. And I'm a sucker for an adopted family story. I mean, come on. It's beautiful. They're wonderful.
I love them.
Paige, any others?
I was going to say the Noble family. Obviously, Donna Wilf is the sweetest little guy in the
That's
whole
our grandpa.
universe.
That's all of
Wilf.
our
That's our grandpa.
When Wilf cries, we cry.
I know.
Too soon. Too soon. It's only been like
soon.
15 years. Too
Mhm.
soon.
It's still too soon. We won't forget it. And I love Donna's daughter. I love they brought her in. All of them.
Another Rose.
Another
a Rose by any
Rose.
other name.
Yeah.
Did we hit every single family in the Whoniverse? I hope so.
Maybe.
Oh, this was wonderful. But before we dive into the plot, Gavin, Sharai, tell people where they can find you and all your wonderful stuff. Sharai, you first, because you have 5011 bajillion things going on.
Yes, insomnia is working for someone, not me. I can be found at Miss Sharai on Instagram. That's the best place to find me and find links to a lot of the other things. I'm gonna yell at you real quick. I am also at sharai.bsky.social. I co-host Blurty Massacre with the Zero Gravity, the mayor of New York. She's doing great work, no notes. And that's Blurty Massacre on pretty much anything you put in Blurty Massacre on and it comes up. That's us. Yeah. A Nightmare on Fear Street is the one I host with rotating friends now because she's a little bit older and I wanted to have fun and shake that shit up. And so yeah. She's every Monday. All these are horror podcasts, by the way. So people who don't know that I do horror things. But yeah,
You're a scary berry girl. Look out.
Listen.
But you are
people
also
need
the girl
nightmares.
who would pick the bear over the man.
The day I woke up and saw that discourse, I didn't know what's going on, but I also said bear, and then I went to do the research, and I was like, yeah, scanned.
But we're also convinced we could tame the bear.
Listen, you can negotiate with a bear. Bears have moral codes, and they have that's a different podcast. Anywho's,
No, this who?
The doctor's on my side. But yeah, A Nightmare on Fierce Street is also on that Instagram. It's also on that Blue Sky. If you put in A Nightmare on Fierce Street, you'll see a lovely picture of me painted by a friend who is it's me giving Freddy Krueger at Coachella. And that's when I knew that friend knew me well. I was like, how dare you see my soul? Thank you.
Thank you for reminding me why I texted you on Sunday. It was Freddy Comics.
That's right. That's why I'm here. Thank you, Freddie.
Here. It's wonderful. Everyone go check it out. It's great stuff. Gavin, all the listeners know, I say it all the time, I stole our format 5,000% from you exactly. Every single thing. Tell people where they can find this format talking about other things.
Well, you can find this format on the Q Division, which is a monthly James Bond queer podcast. We're going through all the James Bond movies and other related media just because we're running out of James Bond movies. And I love Chels so much. I don't want to let her go. I don't want to lose her completely to the doctor.
I know. It's like we ran through Timothy Dalton and it's like, well, we have Mamma Mia Bond coming up, but let's take a detour. Right. Pages on our Deb episode coming out either during Pride or my birthday month. Who's to say?
Yeah, we've got Mamma Mia and Gay Foghorn Leghorn left, and that's it. And so yeah, you can find any of that on Q Division Pod at that's that on Instagram. It's that on Blue Sky. I also co-host a long-running film podcast called The Mixed Reviews. You can find that on Blue Sky on Instagram. And I guess if you really want to find me, you can find me at it's Gavin. That's SHITSGAVIN on Blue Sky, and also Gavin Mev on Instagram. But yeah, that's all I'm doing. That's literally all. Too much of my life.
You say it's all you're doing, and yet I've been on 2 of your episodes, but the homework for that is just like as if I was back in grad school right now.
Yeah, I run a tight ship. I invite guests on and I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna torture you. Sharai, you've been on the show, so you know.
You're being really humble about the amount of work you put in.
Yeah, no, I
So
learned
humble.
things about Wes Craven, and I know Wes Craven. I'm like, what? He wore what to win?
Yeah, the Sharon Stone thing, I'm still not over it. Still not over it. Sharon Stone possibly stealing his ex-wife.
It's because of your episode I bought the DVD of Invitation to Hell, and because I was on eBay, I found 2 copies and sent one to Gavin.
Amazing.
I know.
It is a ride. It is a ride. Yes.
Everyone go check that out. By the time this episode drops, my Julie Andrews episode of Mixed Reviews will be out. And guess what? Mary Poppins is a Time Lord. Look out, baby. She's a scary one.
That's very correct.
I always said Missy was dark Mary Poppins. Yeah.
That's so correct. Yeah.
She's Mary Poppins with drugs. And good for her.
What did you think the medicine was, Chels? A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down?
Sugar.
Yeah. Sugar.
But y'all, let's just get into the TARDIS wiki synopsis of this episode because somehow a lot happens, but also very little, but also our hearts explode. Let's see. Pete Allen Tyler, the father of Rose and husband of Jackie, died on the 7th of November, 1987, the day of Stuart Hoskins and Sarah Clark's wedding. Rose was just a baby at the time, and Jackie told the young Rose that nobody was there for Pete when he died and that the hit-and-run driver was never found. Now grown up, Rose asks the Ninth Doctor to take her to see him alive, but on a whim, ends up changing his fate, not realizing the consequences of such a paradox. After all, the Doctor has saved so many lives. What could the real consequences be over a man alive in the world who wasn't alive before? Wow, TARDIS Wiki creates synopsises that, you know what, Gavin would write these for me on the Q Division.
For all we know, that's AI written nowadays. I hope not, obviously, but
No,
I'm
this new wiki literally left the fandom platform because of AI.
oh, thank God. Push
I
them
know.
out. Give them no quarter.
Exactly. And y'all, before we dive in deep to the plot, what are your brief overall impressions of this episode? And do you remember the first time you watched it? Because you both specifically requested this episode.
So as you know, I was late to Who in general. And I started with Eccleston because I'm a completionist, even though I follow David Tennant over there from Jessica Jones. It was my last winter in grad school, and I binged these babies. I binged them back to back to back. Capaldi's first season was out. And I had to find that in the scariest places on the internet. And so I knew nothing of this world other than I had a scarf, and my friends were like, "You're the kind of nerd who would be into that show. You should watch that show." And so I get here, and I know they kill doctors. And so I was like, they wouldn't do it in the middle of the season, would they? Or are these soap opera rules? And so I got very stressed all of a sudden. And but yeah, me and my little Lubbock, Texas apartment, not doing well. And my first hardcore binge of Doctor Who is how I saw this. So it was probably day 2 of that binge, knowing me, because I probably took a nap and then woke up and got right back to it. And so yeah, not great.
That sounds about right for you. This is deeply relatable as a person who took a nap before coming on this pod. Gavin, do you remember the first time you watched this episode?
Much like I said last time, I probably pirated it in my dorm room in college because I was just rabid about getting these before they came to the US because, we had no idea that it was even going to get picked up by anybody in the US. And as it was coming out, yeah, so I definitely LimeWired it at some point. But yeah, I remember this episode sticking really with me specifically because, and much like I said when I was in the Dickens episode, and even in the Dalek episode, the levels in which they were taking the seriousness of it felt very new and fresh in a way that I had not seen other TV shows advertised as family shows. And I'd grown up with the original series, so I knew how serious it could get. But I guess this sort of very emotional episode, because like you said, so much happens in this episode, but it feels like so little. Jackie is reintroduced, the 80s version of Jackie is reintroduced in the episode. It's already halfway over, and that's wild. Yeah, I think I love this episode. So Thank you for having me on as well too, because I feel like I butted into Sheray's episode as well too.
No, you both separately were like, hey, we should do this. And I'm like, wait, they're friends. Let's put them together. This is how I started the
Awesome.
Doctor Who podcast matchmaking friendship service, by the way. Just so everyone knows, this is my excuse for my friends to hang out together.
To be fair, we also did kind of accidentally get a little bit mean about it on Gavin's podcast because we were like, we've not seen each other in a while because Chels hasn't scheduled us at the same
true.
time.
It's true.
Look at me go. Look at us go.
We're like, and we know you're listening, Chels. And sure enough, when the episode came out, we got a text being like, hey, I'm listening also.
Yeah, ask and you shall receive.
You both want to do this. Should you do this together? We're like, yes, thank you.
I was called, this is my Ghostbusters call to action right now. Paige. I'm sure you could call me out on an episode for any reason. Do you remember the first time you watched this and the overwhelming emotions it gave you?
I was trying to think about the first time I watched this. I'm sure because notoriously I watched the show on BBC America when it was like doing reruns of Doctor Who, and that's how I caught up with seasons I didn't see.
Truly
So I'm-
catching episodes strays.
Yeah, so I'm sure it was like in the midst of a catch-up marathon and I didn't fully pay attention to it. It could have been the middle of the night, who knows. So I was really like watching a lot of this for the first time, I feel like, especially as an adult, it hits different. And I love any episode of a sci-fi series that deals with time travel where they're having to deal with the conundrum of like, oh no, you can't stop this horrible event from happening because it has repercussions and you don't fully understand. It's just classic.
Exactly. And like, I mean, I said it up top, but this is kind of just a small idea episode. But as I'm making my notes, I feel like I just transcribe so many arguments that are just people talking. And
Hmm.
that is why I love this show, because sometimes the best scenes, like even in a soap opera or anything, are just two people shouting at each other or like having emotional morality debates. And this one, it gives us a good one. I even have like some prompt questions in here for us because I don't know. We learn a lot, and I would say that the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who is more like we try to clean up everything by the end, put it with a nice bow. And I will say, I think it works for this and for other episodes we've covered this season because it is supposed to be a family show after all. So y'all, we open on this like flashback of young Rose and Jackie looking at like pictures of Pete in a scrapbook. That's Rose's dad. And Jackie's just recounting the day that he died and all the sequences like that led to it. And oh no, he died alone. It was a hit and run. Nobody stopped for him. And then we cut to present day Rose, who's telling the doctor all of this and asking if they can go visit her dad when he was still alive. And the doctor is just worried about Rose because, like, he's gonna do anything for her. He literally says that, but he's just worried about the consequences and the emotional impact. And it's like, this man is also in love with this woman. I get it at this point. Like, I understand where the shipping comes in for this show. And he's like,
I will say he's being irresponsible though. He really is. I mean, she's very young. She's like 18, and like not to get into it already, but like I think anybody who's lost a loved one with capacity to travel through time is gonna want that, or is gonna ask that question. It's gonna get brought up at some point, and he should be like, actually no, that's a really bad idea. We should not do that. Episode over. Thank you.
and like, I love that that is the whole point of this episode. It's like the doctor it's actually his fault if you really think about all of this. It's like he knew he shouldn't have done any of this, but guess what? He loves this girl, so he's going to do it anyways and try to make it happen. Thank you for, we're all getting ahead of this. But yeah, the doctor's like, yeah, I can do anything, but I'm just worried about you. But you know what? Your wish is my command, baby. And we're going to smash the credits and watch the credits all the way through. Bring them back, babies. And y'all, we return to the Doctor and Rose watching Jackie and Pete's wedding, with Pete stumbling over his vows. And I like this little scene. It's just a small insert. Any other time on a show now, it would probably just be cut for time, but I like that it's cute. And then eventually we cut back to the past where Jackie's telling Rose about how he was killed again. And she just wishes somebody had been there for him the day he died. So then we cut back to Rose and the doctor in the TARDIS, where Rose is just asking if she can be that someone who's there for him when he dies. And it's like the doctor's already taken her back to see her dad, and like they watch the wedding, and it's like one more, just one more for funsies. And you know what? Sometimes the funsies gets you in trouble.
Can I just give a brief the joke, the Lady Di joke is so funny to me, which is such a deep cut, which is that when Lady Di and Prince Charles got married, she stumbled over his name. She like put his name in the wrong order. And that's why Jackie when her father does the wrong, when Pete does the wrong,
But
however many names Jackie
yeah,
has, she's like, it's good enough for Lady Di, and the doctor loves it. The doctor loves that moment. And that, I was like, very relatable, doctor. I see you.
it is so funny that while rewatching that today, I was also catching up on Days of Our Lives earlier today, and there was another Lady Di joke.
Back in the news.
Back in the news, y'all. So you know what? The doctor's like, here's our funsie. We're going to do it. So they land November 7th, 1987 on the road where Pete died. And Rose explains he was late to the wedding because he had to pick up a wedding present. As Jackie calls it, that stupid vase. He gets out of the car and she watches as he's immediately like run over by a car. This man, had he just looked at his side mirror, it's like, I'd be fine. But the doctor tells her to go to him, but Rose freezes, and then it just cuts to moments later where we hear the sirens, and Rose explains that by the time the ambulances got there, he was dead, and she asks if he can try again. And this whole opening sequence from the beginning to now, Gavin, I gotta ask you as an editor, because it is edited like a storybook in many ways. What did you think of this? Is this a choice that you like?
I like some of it. I'll be perfectly honest. And I love this episode, so it's hard for me to be too nitpicky. But I do think some of it suffers in the fact that, like, some of it feels like we're repeating info to pad. And I don't always like, we experience the, like, Jackie telling Rose about Pete's death twice in a way that we don't necessarily need to. And if maybe it was more about some information is imparted the first time and then another layer of information, but it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like we're doubling up on the same amount of stuff. And I know part of that is to, like, because it is a family show, punch into like a child's heart that, oh, there should be somebody with him when he dies. But it does feel a little repetitive. Also, just as a real quick sidebar, that first frame, which is just the still of him, is my enemy. Like, I hate that so much. That looks like a college project, because that is literally just like setting an in point, setting an out point,
Mm-hmm.
dragging it up. I'm like, we don't, come on, guys. Something would have been better than that. Anything. It just felt like they were like, we don't have any stuff of him. Oh, just use the still. Use the still. Do a slow push.
I was just thinking of like the Unquiet Dead, how they added the extra scene of Rose and Gwen, even though it turned out to be like maybe the best scene of the episode. They had to fill it for time. And there are several moments in this where I do feel like they had to extend things and fill it for time.
And some of those things end up being some of the best stuff. And there's a scene in this later, I think we're probably both referencing, that I actually really love, that I think some people think is a little cheesy. And like, specifically when you're talking about like the Unquiet Dead, like that's one of the best scenes in the episode. The extra stuff that's written because you don't want to have effects, but you can expand the characters or make people learn something about the characters that they might not have had a chance to. I don't know. That stuff is always cool to me.
The world building stuff, we call it.
World building is cheap sometimes.
World building is cheap. But yes, Rose asks if they can try again. And you know what? The doctor and Rose return back to the scene of the impending crime where they're watching the past versions of themselves watch Pete die. And the doctor is just like so strict with Rose, being like, don't let these past versions of us see us, and you have to wait until they run off before you go run to your dad so they don't create a paradox. And guess what? Rose is like, girl, what you say? Bye. Just like pushes him away, runs straight into the road, like tackles him like she's a linebacker or some shit. I don't know sports. and pushes him out of the way to save his life. And then we just see the past versions of themselves disappear. And Rose introduces herself to her dad and asks if they're also going to the wedding. And Pete offers them a ride. And I do like that Pete's like, oh, well, we'll give your boyfriend a lift too. And the doctor is just watching them and he is furious. He is pissed. Sharai, go off.
I was here for this because when Rose did that, I was like, girl, have you never read a sci-fi book? You've just ruined everything. You've ruined the world tour. And so like Eccleston's entire face, his demeanor, the silent acting, the trying to kill her with his eyeballs, I was like, yes, yes. And like every time she's like, oh, you're mad at me, he's like, obviously. This is the doctor that she needed because it's kind of a stern professor who's disappointed in you because you knew the assignment and you did clownery. And so I was very happy that that's what they were getting because again, we were starting to wonder if this is going to be a romantic situation. And he's 9 million years old and she's 18. Not to be a party pooper and ruin anybody's kinks, but like that's a giant age gap. Like
it's an age gap, but also he's an alien, so I wonder what an adult alien Time Lord is. To be fair.
Rose wanted to find out, and you know
Rose
what?
was ready. Rose is dating across the Whoniverse at this point.
Listen.
And good for her.
I mean, Paige, you're next. Get in line.
I'm next. Yeah.
We already threw Mickey out. But then we do get this fun part, which is my favorite quote unquote filler of the episode. It's how we transition from scene to scene. And it's like this aerial view of the city through the eyes of some scary sounding creatures that we don't see, but we definitely hear. And the screen's like red. And I really like this part because it's like, bad shit's happening. And I love that sometimes bad shit is a very simple visual cue. And then we just cut to Pete bringing Rose and the doctor to his flat. Pete starts rambling about different ideas for inventions he has before popping out of the room, and Rose clocks the doctor's silent fury, and she just rambles about Pete's belongings that Jackie kept and just goes through the room, everything from trophies to this weird tonic drink, which I'm like, don't drink that, baby girl. And then it's just like solar power plans he had. Y'all. First off, this guy looks like a doomsday prepper, if we're being reals. Jackie Tyler does not live here.
Thank you. I was like, my Jackie would never. She would never. Also, like her dad was giving, like, don't get in this strange man's car. I know he's your father. Don't do it. We've seen the news. And so I was like, before I knew where this episode was going, I was like, you're about to find out a bunch of stuff you didn't want to find out, girl. Also monsters. But like, this could have gone so many different ways.
It really could have. I mean, because let's just get into this because the doctor is pissed and it feels like Rose is like the rambling child just trying to draw him out of it. But then the doctor recalls when they met, he's like, I asked you to travel with me in space and you said no. But then I said time machine and Rose is like, it wasn't my plan to save him, but I just saw the car coming and I'm like, I could stop it. And he just fully unloads on her saying he picked up another stupid ape and it's not about showing her the universe, it's what the universe can do for her. And this is just coming off the episode where we kicked Adam out of the TARDIS. So
and again, he let Rose do these things. Like, he took her to this place in time, like we said. He can't entirely blame her.
This is literally like going into the little Aladdin thing and then not touching the gold. Come on.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, fingers crossies now. You're not gonna run out and try and save your dad, right? Like, we're gonna... No, like, this is a bit pot calling kettle black, but I do love his performance. Like, he is so good, but it's just like, baby, you brought this on yourself. You're mad at you.
Not to defend men, even doctors, but I do think that he's hurt in this moment because he's like, I found my new person, and my new person was plotting to have me help her do a really stupid thing that's gonna like ruin everything. She was using me.
And that's what, Eccleston is often remembered as like the tough doctor or the doctor who's like willing to do the things. But I think the part that's often forgotten about him is he's also a really remorseful doctor. And because of that, it does allow him to be really gooey and soft in the center.
I was going to say, he's got that gooey heart of gold,
Right. And that's the other thing about one of those scenes that we're going to talk about later. But like, So I do think he kind of is optimistic when he meets people, but he's also like ready to be disappointed.
I mean, the
He
optimism comes out in the two-parter that's comes right after this episode, so
exactly.
Like he's one of our underrated doctors because he's the first one we get after the gigantic break that was new and old too. And so he's carrying the weight of losing his entire planet, everybody like him. And he's looking for that human connection, even though again he knows better than to believe in us because he's been around long enough to know better. And so he is that
Mhm.
professor, is that older lady who's gonna tell you the truth because you need to hear it, but also is ready for you to do better.
And his
Yes.
feelings are just hurt. But I do
Yeah.
like that she gives it right back to him, though, saying it's okay when he goes back in time to save lives, but not when it's her saving her dad. And he says, I know what I'm doing. He explains that two sets of them being in the same place has made this point in time very vulnerable. And she tries to argue that he's alive, and he throws it in her face that his whole family and planet died. And do you think it ever occurred to me to go back and save them? And Rose doesn't think she's changed history too much. And the doctor says the whole world changed because an ordinary man is alive. And I'm just thinking to myself, Rose, your dad raised you now, so you're going to be a completely different person.
I also love that we bring up the ordinary person and how they're important because, like, in Shurikatwa era, that comes up again, and it was not a great way to use it. But I was like, ugh. And I'm like, oh, it did start with Eccleston. Fine, you've done the research, you've looked at your show Bible, and so I
But
have to be
only
like,
his show Bible.
only his, and so I have to be less salty with the way that shook out, a little less, not too
I
much
I
less.
will credit our previous companion Shannon Kay because she said in the Aliens of London episode, that two-parter, that Rose does have daddy issues that she's projected onto the doctor because sometimes the doctor is her boyfriend and sometimes he is the parental figure. And it might be right because, like, just this exchange in the midst of their fight, Rose just shouts at him, "For once, you're not the most important man in my life." And the doctor asks for his TARDIS key back since he's insignificant. And you know what? Just to see how she gets along without him, they are fighting.
Asking for the key back is so petty.
I'm happy that came up though because this episode he goes from being her dad to her daddy and back and forth and back and forth, and I'm like, girl, make a
Truly,
choice.
within lines, it's like being a parent, but being the boyfriend asking for the key back. And Rose is just like, you're not going to leave without me. And I'm going to make you wait so long before we can leave. And he just slams the door on the way out. And Pete pops his head into the room and asks, boyfriend troubles? And y'all, again, good moral question. Are we Team Rose or Team Doctor on this one? Because I will say the doctor did bring her here and maybe did not explain the rules very well. This is like me taking a child to Chuck E. Cheese in many ways, but then saying, you can't touch the rat. Paige would touch the rat.
I would.
But I think it's an important thing to bring up that bringing a child, and once again, she's 18, like
She's a child. That
but
brain's still cooking for another
right,
7 years.
exactly, and so her reacting that way, her being like, "I'm gonna make you wait so long," is so childish. It's so like, but and so like, yeah, he definitely bears responsibility for this quite a bit. But I do actually agree with Sharai that he is saying some things. This is maybe not the best time to be teaching a lesson because the universe is hanging in the balance and they don't really realize it yet. But like he is saying some things that maybe she should hear as well too. And also
She's
just
learning
back
on the
on
job. That's not always
exactly
the best way to learn.
uh, what a great intern. And but to go back to your Pete would have raised her. Yeah, he's gonna get her in on his MLMs, his multi-level marketings. She's gonna be selling that health tonic.
You just know Pete is up all about all the Facebook schemes. He's actually the leggings girly, like that whole moldy leggings from all those years ago.
Mr.
Oh, I
Crypto. This is his
yeah,
thing.
yeah. As soon as email's invented, he's telling people he's a Saudi prince. You know it.
Yes. And then again, I just had to point out every single time that we cut to the aerial view of these scary berry monster aliens outside. And it's just, you see them swooping down and just the sound effects of them probably killing people in their yards. It happens a few different times, and then you just see like a rake falls over or something. Sometimes just the easiest visual language. Like, Sharai, you know this from every horror film you've watched because you've watched more than any person alive. I love it.
I was thinking that though while watching it too, because I was like, what a good, because this episode was meant to save money and then it didn't in the end, because of all the special effects they had to do. But that's what I was thinking. It was like, what a good special effects saver is how creepy is just an abandoned car in the middle of the road, a child's shoe that's like empty. It's so smart. The visual language of that is so intelligent and so cheap to pull off.
Like it made me happy because again, it's the things that we have in our imagination that makes things scarier. And so I was like, what happened to that child? What happened to people in the car? And this is paired with those aerial shots, which made me think of like a discount Lost Boys. And,
Yes, discount Lost Boys. Yes.
yeah, Lost Boys. But like it was just, I was like, are we going for it? Are we doing the things? And then we see the monsters, and you remember that like budgets won't let people be great. It's fine.
I mean, just the Microsoft Paint point of view through their eyes was a lot better than the actual creature we ended up seeing. I love it.
They would have been better with 2 flashlights and a cape. But you know,
I love it.
Here.
You know, I'd love it. Turn the lights off in that church later.
I read what they're supposed to look like too, because there's the whole thing about like how originally they were conceived as like actual grim reapers with like the big cloaks and whatnot. But then like I read what the final description is, and I'm like, is that what I saw? Is that what that's supposed to be? They're like, their tails are like scythes, and I'm like, sure, Jan.
It's like, sure, Jan, but I also feel like they were probably avoiding like copying the same imagery of Harry Potter at the time because those movies had a very similar creature.
Yeah.
Also, fuck Harry Potter.
I was about to say they're happy they didn't accidentally tiptoe to that because it would have been like,
exactly.
You knew J.K. Rowling was Doctor Who, you of all people, while she's beefing with David Tennant.
There's a reason why David Tennant on the birthday post told his wife to put trans rights or human rights.
So, like the fact that she tried David Tennant of all the people in the world, our favorite fake British man. And she was like, let me try him. And the David Tennant fans were just like, we're going to kill you. We're outside. Yeah. Come out, Joanne. Come out. And I'm like, you weren't ready for that.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to die?
Wait, her name's Joanne? She's a she?
She's a something that I can't say on this podcast, even though I do have a potty mouth.
Like, I mean, you could probably say it's. Oh.
That's a lot of editing for you.
Yeah, this is a family show.
Is it? Have you met me? Right? But no, we do. I just hate that Rose is tidying up Pete's apartment when we come back to this, and Pete's like, couples fight all the time. It's fine. And this annoys Rose because she insists her and the doctor aren't a couple. I mean, sure, Jan. And she laments that he left her, and Pete starts to be like, well, a pretty girl like you, if we were a couple. And then I just love that it's just Rose for a couple minutes being like, nope, nada, no, shutting this down. Don't even think about that. Don't even go there. You don't even know what the there is.
It's going full Back to the Future.
I was gonna say, how did Rose not know she was gonna screw something up? She's clearly seen Back to the Future.
But has Pete seen it? Has it been in the UK yet? It was just released. But no, they leave for the wedding where most of the guests haven't shown up. Where are they? Oh no. And then, of course, the scary creatures in the sky are stalking the doctor as he returns to the TARDIS. And as he goes to unlock it, and he opens it and he's like, uh-oh, it's actually a police box. It's the real dimensions of the set. The interior of the TARDIS has completely vanished, and he freaks out just shouting for Rose and just turns around and boot scoots on out. He's like, I gotta go find her. Shit already got fucked up. Damn it. Here's the thing. It's kind of the doctor's fault. Take the child to the candy store. This is like the chocolate factory all over again.
I have always wondered why he keeps choosing humans when I know humans are garbage. But you know what? We all have our things. How many times did I have Taco Bell in school? I definitely ate that garbage. And so I feel like we are his Taco Bell. He can't quit us. He wants to, but he just puts more hot sauce and sour cream on it. And he's like, it's fine.
It's delicious. Yeah. Like, I'm not supposed to have dairy, but when my grandma offered me a bite of mashed potatoes yesterday, I was like, hell yeah, I'll do it.
I get it.
Listen,
I had
we all
mashed
been
potatoes
there.
in like 3 years, y'all. That was
We're-
delicious.
we are Time Lord forbidden fruit. I understand.
Right.
They just love our messy chaos. They're like, what are we going to do next?
They're like, these people are so stupid. It's great, you guys. You got to see what they're gonna do
You
next.
fucking guys. Then we cut back to like Rose and Pete in the car, and Pete's just telling her all about his get rich quick schemes. And she realizes he's not the proper businessman that Jackie made him out to be. And Rose realizes that like Jackie will be at the wedding and kind of panics. And Pete asks, "Oh, you know Jackie? What's she said about me?" And she's like, "She said she picked the most fantastic man in the world." But he said, "That's a different Jackie than she would not say that." And it's like, uh-oh. Rose is starting to put the pieces together. She's solving it. And she turns on the car radio, and it's music that's not out yet. She checks her Nokia brick phone, which I would actually like to have these days. But we get a voicemail of some guy, and it's actually Alexander Graham Bell saying the first thing ever said over the phone, which is, "Watson, come here, I need you." And they're almost at the church when the car that nearly ran them over earlier almost hits them again, but then vanishes into thin air. And Rose accidentally calls Pete dad after they arrive, like that whole accident. Y'all, Rose is really bad at this being sneaky and time traveling thing.
Two things. The song that appears on the radio is a song by the British rap band The Streets, and let me tell you, in 2005 I was actually listening to The Streets because I was such a dumb Anglophile that I was like, I must know about this British rap. No, not a good band. What? I'm such a
Gavin's
dummy. Why would
LimeWire was giving him all the viruses from that band and Doctor Who.
exactly any British virus I could get? That was it. And then
I mean, they are the originator of so many viruses. So many viruses.
well, yeah. They do like to deposit them in the US as well.
We got more chaos coming because Jackie has arrived at the church with baby Rose and the other bridesmaids and meets up with Pete and adult Rose. But Jackie and Pete immediately start fighting because Jackie thinks Pete is having an affair with Rose and calls him a failure. They're just going at it in the streets. She's going to kill this man. Part of me is starting to think maybe he deserves it. And Rose, this is when she's like, oh shit, my parents' marriage is a hot mess. And Jackie really painted this false portrait of their life before he died because she did not want to say anything bad about her dad, like her dead dad to Rose. Oh, and Jackie tells them that if they're not careful, there will be a wedding and a divorce on the same day. And here's the thing. I love Jackie Tyler. I feel like she's always right, even when she's wrong. She is wild. I mean, I get her frustration. How would you feel if your husband showed up to a wedding with another younger woman?
That is such a bad bitch line for her to say. We're gonna have a divorce and a wedding on the same day.
Get her on a soap.
Incredible.
Yeah, truly nobody fucks with Jackie Tyler. That's really what it comes down to. Her and her wig, and I keep reading things that's like, oh, she had to wear a wig for the episode. Baby, that's at least 2 wigs. That is a lot of hair. That is some wigs sewn together.
Exactly. And guess what? She looks
she's not
great.
a dummy. She looks great. Absolutely.
Bring back big hair and wigs.
She was going to an audition for designing women. And
Yes.
Maybe that's why I'm always like, oh, love this aesthetic. Everything should just be designing women hair.
She's like, congenial's not something the women in my family often aspire to.
And that's the night the lights went out in Georgia. Spins.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is great. Jackie's so good. And also, like, I think in addition to, obviously you don't want to tell a child like, hey, by the way, your father actually kind of sucked. But I also think when somebody dies suddenly for a good long while in your life, you do have a tendency to paint them with rose-colored glasses as well too. So I think it's a combination of both things. Whereas I think she's not only telling Rose these things to make Rose feel better about not knowing her father, but to also make herself feel better about him not being there and about the life that she didn't get and the life that she felt she was promised. And so I understand, and that's why it's so funny that she's so mad at him. And what was he doing with those women in that coats? Come on, Pete.
Come on, Pete. Also, I feel like Jackie's love language is fighting, which is deeply relatable.
When she opens telling a small child that her father was hit by a car getting a stupid vase, I was like, this is not good parenting. And then watch the rest of the episode unfold and be like, oh, this is an episode of bad parenting decisions. Because like, how do you look a 3-year-old in the face and be like, oh, well, your dad was hit by a car in the street and died alone? Like, of all the things, Jackie, I love her and her wigs, but I was like, wait till she's in kindergarten at least, like let her have 5 years.
Jackie was still processing like 5 years later.
In her trauma, just like, come here, baby.
Come here, baby. Let me tell you how your dad died alone, but he was a wonderful man that I hated.
I was gonna kill him, but the car took him first. I was like, Jackie, shh.
And then we get another great sequence that I feel like Sharai probably wrote because it's really fuck them kids. Those scary creatures are in the sky above a playground, abducting little kids, parents, everything. And young Mickey is just witnessing all of this and he runs straight to the church. And he's like, it's aliens, it's aliens. And all the adults start making fun of him. This explains a lot. Also, Russell, you suck, the writing in this portion. And next thing we know, the doctor is running also to the church, straight to Rose, and we finally see the scary creatures, and they're not actually that scary. But they're dropping out of the sky and they just start eating the guests, which I think's hilarious. Sharai, did you write this?
I wish I had, because like, first off, snatching children and taking them into the sky to eat them, thank you. Secondly, showing up to a church on a wedding day to be like, hi everybody, fuck your drag, fuck your formal. We ate your dad. I was just like, this is chaos. Is this my new favorite thing? Is this my personality? And so I think that might be the episode where my wallet felt I'd be a Whovian before I did. Because I was like, I need merch. I need a TARDIS dress. I need a TARDIS cardigan. I need 19 t-shirts. I gotta find this in the wild because this is my brand of chaos. Like,
the smug little smile that Rose has when she hears the doctor running up, when she's like, I knew you were coming back. And it's like, no, baby, not the time to be all like,
that's the
you're in
Jackie
trouble.
Tyler in her. She's channeling
Yes.
her mom in that moment.
The I told you so energy.
Yeah.
Yikes, baby girl.
Oh, and I remembered what I was going to say too, because right before the father gets eaten on his giant cell phone, he also hears the Alexander Graham Bell thing. So funny, like behind the scenes thing. Famously, Alexander Graham Bell actually said, "Come here, Watson, I want you," which is way more homoerotic. And that
so it's a good thing a gay man rewrote that.
Right, exactly. Well, it was written that way in the script, and then they decided the original voiceover actor they hired wasn't Scottish sounding enough, and so they hired a second voice actor, and he read the wrong line, and that's how it ended in the episode.
If they'd hired David Tennant, it would have been said correctly, and it would have been very flirty.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. It would be like, "And I want you back." Alex.
Exactly. That's an episode of Good Omens for you.
Listen,
That's a different podcast. That's After Dark. But I love that the doctor's just shouting for all of them to run into the church because the building's a lot older than everything else. So it's stronger and the creatures it'll take a while for them to get through. This logic, sure.
So basically, I'm the thing that would protect us four right now. Everyone get behind Gavin. He's so much older.
That's fair.
All of time and space, your best defense is get in the old church. Like, they built things different in the 1800s. We got gargoyles flying in snatching people's parents. I think we gotta have a better defense. I'm so sorry. I love you. You need a better plan. Like.
And the best part of this is once they're inside the church, the doctor tries to genuinely explain what's going on to a very pissed off Jackie Tyler who doesn't know him. And he's like, there's a wound in time, and these creatures are like a bacteria taking advantage. But Jackie is not listening. She's like, this man is just talking, and it is white noise. Shut up. And then this is the doctor's real Christmas, because he gets to tell Jackie to go away, be quiet, tells her off. This is his dream, and it's the one time she won't slap him. She should, though. And Rose asks if this is her fault, but the doctor ignores her, and Pete's like listening and watching all of this. First off, I support Jackie white noising men, always. Poor Rose.
It's like Lily Reinhardt's whole wardrobe. She has so many shirts and tank tops that says "I support men's right to shut the fuck up." And I'm just like, where can I find some of that? I would love some of that for my uniform. Like,
I'm getting really good at the Redbubble. I should make some.
when you do, you know where I live.
I do. I need to mail all of you something. Cut to the doctor and Pete looking out the window at the car that should have hit Pete, and it's just repeatedly driving down the road and vanishing. And I think it's in that moment the doctor really realizes what's going on but doesn't say anything. And these little creatures, they continue attacking the church, and then eventually Pete finds Rose and asks what she meant by this is all her fault and why did he trust her enough to give her his keys. And he solves this little mystery box puzzle and realizes Rose is his daughter and they hug it out. What a moment. This somebody in the Tyler family figured out something. I'm kind of proud.
That's when I started to worry for him. I'm like, you're too smart to be here. I know for a fact smart people suffer, which is why I had to start saying less in production meetings. I'm so sorry to
There's
you,
a
sir.
reason why Pete died. He was too smart.
Right? Had he been like, I don't know what's going on, let me go play video games, he would have been around still today.
And then like another small moment that would probably be cut from an episode is as like Pete and Rose are having their moment, the bride and groom just come up to the doctor because they know he knows exactly what's happening. And they're like, if they can save them, cool, but also we're not that important. And I love that the doctor corrects them in this moment and it's like, no, you've lived a life I never will be. This is how you met and stuff. I'm going to try my best to save all of you, but I love that he's always correcting people and making them feel important because they are.
Again, watching this episode made me have to say a lot less mean things about what I had seen in the last episode that I saw. And I hate that for me, this growth. I hate that.
It's okay. It's a different writer than normal.
This scene is exactly what I feel like you meant by like a scene written to save money, because it is people that are not like main cast members. They're kind of there. But I was looking at reviews from when this episode came out, and there were some reviews that attacked this scene for being cheesy and kind of too heartfelt for the doctor after he was just so mad. But I think this is character building for him. This is showing the doctor that he is, damaged, but also he loves the small things, like the small, beautiful, imperfect things, being like, I've never had that moment in my life. I've lived 900 years and I've never done
Yeah.
that thing that, yeah. And I think that's so beautiful and so sweet. And I think that's what's fun about Doctor Who is that
Yeah.
the person who takes over the doctor, that's the great thing, is that you get a chance to redefine them, to make them something different. And yeah, there are traits that carry over, but it's cool that it's like, oh, I'm a different person doing a different thing.
Exactly. And like this gets to like my overall complaint about TV like now 20 years later where everything is so plot driven, everything has to lead to something and it's like no, sometimes you just need the character driven world building moments cuz those mean more than like let's find XYZ murderer or go through this hospital thing and see what's going on because it's like you actually have a connection to these people. Eventually, we cut back to Rose explaining to Pete how she's able to travel in time, but is super vague about the future when he asks about himself. And he is really trying to ask. And eventually, Jackie and a young Mickey come into the room, and young Mickey immediately hugs Rose, and Jackie is jealous of the time Pete is spending with Rose. Honestly, Pete, you could say a few sentences here, like, actually talk to your wife. And Pete attempts to explain who she is, but Rose stops him. But, like, y'all, Jackie can't know. And she jokes that Jackie can't even control the timer on the video recorder. And I had to write in here, remember video recorders, kids? This is how we recorded our episodes of the soap operas to watch after school.
The line she says about Mickey is so mean. And I just thought, like, oftentimes a showrunner will do like an uncredited rewrite or polish. I was like, that's Russell T Davies, because he
It
hates
is.
Mickey so much.
He hates Mickey.
He hates him so much, and to do that, like he'll just grab on anything that comes along, like God protect his girlfriend, and it's like, okay, we know,
So it's
we
a
know,
really good
okay?
thing we entrusted this man to write for the first Black Doctor on the
I
show.
know.
But no, I do like that Rose's whole excuse for don't tell Jackie, she doesn't even know how like video recorders work, just about time travel. You can't explain time travel to Jackie, which honestly, smartest thing Rose says all episode.
Listen.
Just to give Billie Piper her flowers real quick too, one of the things I still remember this, Sarah Michelle Gellar says one of the hardest things to do is laugh on cue, to like make yourself laugh and make it come off believable. And honestly, you can watch some episodes of Buffy, and I love Buffy. I'm wearing a Buffy shirt right now, where you can tell it's not easy for Sarah Michelle Gellar. There's a moment here where Rose is like stifling her tears, and her father says something to her, and she starts to laugh, and it feels so genuine and so nice.
She's
And
such
so
a
like,
good actress.
I know, that's why like when people are mean about Billie Piper, I'm always like, no, she's actually like a really good actress.
She's so good.
If people are mean about Billie Piper and Rose, they're not invited to this show. Like, you can stop listening. It's fine. We love her.
We don't want you.
You cannot say anything negative about Billie Piper, especially after everyone hates. No, I hate Susie and Confessions of a Call Girl. Like,
I loved Confessions of a Call Girl. You have no idea. Yeah.
It's so good.
Are we gonna do a between season spinoff of that? Maybe between
Yes.
season
I think
2
we
and
are, 'cause
3?
I
Do a
wanted to
couple
rewatch
episodes with
it,
the gang
so.
here.
yes, yes. The fact
It's
that it's
probably
not
on
been
Tubi.
rebooted. Listen, let me reboot that today, please. Also, let me
I
go to
think it
London
is
and do
on
it
Tubi.
live. Like, I would reboot the hell out of that.
Yes.
There was so much more to play with, and it was cut short, like all the good things in life. Yeah.
Billy was busy. But you know who else is busy? The doctor, because they're inside the basilica and the doctor is babysitting little baby Rose, and eventually adult Rose comes up to him joking that young Mickey has imprinted on her, which I will say that is a pretty good joke. I do think young Mickey did imprint on adult Rose. Relatable though. I too would see a beautiful woman and be like, yes, her. Rose attempts to touch baby Rose, but the doctor stops her since it's a paradox, and any paradox would make the Reapers even stronger and make whatever point in time they are a lot weaker. And they argue with each other. They say some pretty nasty things to each other, but eventually apologize, and he admits that he's scared and he doesn't have a plan. And the sad thing is you just know he knows the real solution at this point. He explains that Time Lords, his people, they used to be able to fix events like this, but they're all gone and there's nothing he can really do to fix it. Rose does apologize and they hug it out, but then she feels like heat coming from his jacket and she just fully puts her hand in the jacket and it's the TARDIS key and it's hot and glowing and she throws it on the ground because it sizzles her hand a little. And luckily, the doctor realized it's connected to the TARDIS and maybe we can summon the TARDIS back, like the actual insides of it. And you know what? He's got a plan. And he finds someone's old brick cell phone, gets the battery off of it, and Sonic charges it as the Reapers continue to attack the church. As he's working, Pete pulls Rose aside to talk and inquires why they came back to 1987 since it isn't anything special. And Rose is truly lip syncing for her life at this point when Pete asks questions about him and Jackie and if he's a good dad. And Rose paints too good of a picture of him. And he's like, I know this man who never let her down isn't me. That's not right. What's it say about this man's self worth that he's like, they're saying nice things about me? This ain't true.
It's so sad.
Fair, but also I love when people know themselves. And
Yes.
he's just like, I'm not that selfless. I would not show up for anybody that much. I must be dead.
He's Polonius style to thine own self be true. He's like, I not a great guy, and so I'm not like that can't be me. I do like, by the way, that you, as you mentioned, the doctor like put in, there's that line about how his people used to be able to solve stuff like this all the time, but now they're all gone. Because without that, it's like the creation of the Reapers, they are not like, they're cosmically so much more than a monster of the week. And yet they feel like just a monster of the week episode thing. And the idea that like, oh, they're out of control because there are no other Time Lords now makes so much more sense with just a throwaway line. And I'm so happy that's there.
I love that. But here we go. Doctor's yelling at the wedding party, don't touch the key. We are going to figure this out. and he starts summoning the TARDIS, and it takes a while. It's slowly like blipping in and out, trying to materialize. And I love that they're all just chilling in the church while this magic show happens. And Jackie is just turning around, glaring at the doctor and Pete and Rose as they're in the back of the church. And the doctor is explaining that once time is sorted, everyone will forget this happened, and the thing that Rose changed will stay changed. And Pete's like, yeah, he'll still be alive, even though I'm supposed to be dead, y'all. And Rose tries to say it's all her fault, but this is the moment where Pete actually like becomes the hero of the episode, and I might start crying because he's like, no, I'm the dad. It's my fault. It's my job for it to be my fault. And Jackie overhears this. This is the part where you're like almost in tears, and then Jackie does something. And it's
She
tears.
comes in and is like, that's disgusting.
That's
It's
disgusting. Were you
mate."
like 12?
You were 12.
And Pete tries to explain to Jackie that adult Rose is baby Rose, and then puts baby Rose in adult Rose's arms, just like throws a baby at her. You're going to cry?
He threw that baby like a basketball. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? That is a fresh baby. It can't defend itself as you throw it in the middle of the air.
It's crazy.
That happens. I've not recovered from crying about Pete saying nice things and being a good dad, to Jackie making me cry laugh, to a basketball baby making the Reapers appear inside the church. And y'all, I like that the doctor immediately sacrifices himself before like this little Reaper thing flies through the TARDIS that's materializing, and it just disappears, and they're all kind of like screwed at this point. And I do like that part of this was just getting Christopher Eccleston out of having to film because his dad was going through some health stuff at the time, so he needed a little bit more time off. But it also gives Rose a chance to help fix things, and I like when humans have to solve problems on this show. So Rose picks up the TARDIS key off the floor, says it's all her fault, thinks it's the end, and Pete looks out the window again and he sees the car that was supposed to hit him repeatedly vanish in the street, and he realizes how he's got to fix it. And he tells adult Rose that the doctor didn't want her to go through losing him again if there was another way, but there isn't. And he tells her about the car that should have killed him and that it's there. The doctor figured it out and tried to protect him and Rose this whole time, but he's not there anymore. And now Pete is in charge. He tells Jackie to really look at adult Rose, and she does realize it's her daughter. This is the part where I'm going to cry again. They hug it out as a family, and he explains he's meant to be dead, and she has to survive to raise Rose. And so Jackie and Pete kiss, and he's like, I never read you bedtime stories or take you on picnics, but I can do this for you. Y'all, before we get into like the more sacrificing, what y'all think of this? Because this is kind of a great scene. Like one of the best of the season.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm so stuck on the doctor dying my first time through because I was like, I know he regenerates, but they wouldn't do it in the middle of the season, would they? Would they?
Nah, give it like 4 more episodes. You're good.
Right. Now I know the rhythm. I'm like, okay, no. But back then I was like, because again, soap opera rules are real, and I'm like, they can kill anybody anytime, but they wouldn't, would they? I don't know. What am I watching?
Sharai, in this moment, you are Jodie Whittaker because she read the Eve of the Daleks script where it's like that over and over. And at first, she thought she actually died in that episode.
She's on the phone with her agent. She's like, no, you promised me another season.
Right.
She's like,
no,
no,
8 episodes.
This is my regeneration.
No, them and their fake regenerations, that's why I have stress. Like at some point my doctor's gonna be like, what's happened to your heart? Doctor Who has happened to my heart multiple times now.
It does, because like you get all these beautiful scenes, like one line after another. I do love that Pete's like, I'm lucky I got all these extra hours like with you that others don't get, and that he got to see her, like implying as an adult. This is just so beautiful. And she gives him the vase, and he asks if she's going to be there for him when he dies, and thanks her for saving him the first time around. He runs outside and throws himself in front of the car. And I will say the direction on that part was kind of silly because he literally just stands right in front of a car. Boom. It's worse than Mean Girls.
I think also what helps sell it as comedy is the driver's like, whoa, 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 like,
And we've
oh
seen the whoa,
no.
whoa, whoa driver like a bunch of times at this point because they close up that. They use that shot a lot. They were really trying to fill the time on this episode.
That driver was having so much fun.
Truly. Could you give us a bigger take? Sure can. Whoa.
It was the hand across the face every time. And I'm just like,
You gotta
get
swipe
it.
across the entire ceiling of the car.
Like an infomercial. Just like, oh no, when you lose control of your car. Like,
Okay, do a take where you take the steering wheel off. Sure thing. Wow.
Y'all, remember how we said leaving it to the imagination's a lot better? Maybe we should have left more to the imagination. Like, cut to Billie Piper's face the moment he hits the road.
Yeah.
Like, don't even, like, show him in front of the car at all.
I agree. And cheaper that way too. You're not hiring a stunt man. You're not, yeah.
my favorite moment is when after her dad is hit, this man gets out of the car to continue overacting in the street. I was like,
Yeah, we're just lucky he didn't really have many lines. He has, like, I think you hear him say, like, he came out of nowhere or something, but like,
And that almost sounded like ADR.
yeah, exactly. Like, is the loop group. I agree with you, Chels. The acting that Dingwall, is it Dingwall? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The acting that Sean Dingwall is doing here is really, really beautiful. The two things that make me cry in this episode, the opening, even with that bad photo, and then this, like, it's so good. And the idea of realizing that you do have importance, and unfortunately that importance is that you have to die, is so bittersweet, but really beautiful and whatnot. And I think his performance is really great. And it's also crazy that, like, this was originally supposed to be Simon Pegg, and the scheduling, he had to go do the prior episode. I'm glad he did, because then obviously Sean Dingwall was going to be more available if they needed to bring him back for some reason.
Also,
but
some might say a stronger actor in the role,
yes,
because Simon Pegg has other strengths.
yes, that is very diplomatic of you, and I enjoy that.
Simon Pegg would have met the energy of the driver, and we would not have the emotional beats we have.
Exactly.
I don't think he was man enough for Jackie Tyler. It takes a strong kind of man for that lady.
But yes, all of this is really beautiful work, and like each one of them is really doing, and even Jackie doing her, like, kind of confused but also knowing that something bad's gonna happen. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Also, just real sidebar, I truly think in my heart of hearts, in my two hearts, that the doctor knew that they were gonna figure it out, because I don't think, like, it, and I know that he was written out of the episode for specific reasons with his father, and also everybody was getting sick and he was sick when they were shooting it as well, but, like, it seems crazy to me that he'd be like, nope, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, good luck to everybody.
Exactly. I
Another
mean,
bad
he
making
bought them
decision.
time. But yes, I do think beautiful scenes all around, tragically undercut by big choices, big stunt choices, we'll say. I do love that the doctor just reappears next to Rose and tells her to go to him, meaning her dad, and she runs out to the road and holds him until he passes. And it cuts back to Jackie telling child Rose, probably what, 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that. I can't tell the ages of children. And this is her telling the new version of the story from the beginning, but with the little small differences that the kids stayed until the ambulance arrived, and people say that there was a girl who stayed with Pete while he was dying and held his hand, but they never found out who she was. And I really like that part.
I do love that he got to eventually be the great man that Jackie was saying he was to Rose in the beginning. Like, he got that opportunity to step up and be someone who's noble.
But not Donna Noble.
Not Donna Noble. Can't be Donna Noble.
And then eventually we cut back to Rose and the doctor leaving Pete in the street. Oh my God. Sorry, I wrote it like that. Wow.
They have to. They
left
can't
Pete
do
in them
anything about
streets,
it.
and then they just hold hands and walk back to the TARDIS. And y'all, that is our episode. It really ends on such a beautiful, sad note.
I have a quick question. What, if anything, do any of them remember? Because there is still a slight alteration in the timeline in which that Pete actually did arrive at the wedding and then for some unknown reason ran into the road. And like, so I want to know, because to me that's even more confusing for her now, where she's like, you know, it was a hit and run, but this time it was just like, nope, my crazy husband just left the church holding the vase, ran into the road.
I mean, who knows? This is not everything everywhere all at once. Not yet, at least. But yeah, I really enjoy this episode. I know it's a highlight episode for a lot of people this season, but man, like even when I say the weakest episode this season still has a lot to dig into, this season just slaps, y'all.
It's incredibly hard to do a first season of anything, and I think genuinely, and I think this sentiment would be shared by a lot of people, first seasons have a lot of weak episodes. That just is it. And you're right, it is a really solid first season, and like you can excuse the farting aliens, because there are so many ideas. And I do wonder if the thought process was go for broke, because who knows if this is going to work, if people are going to dig it, if we're going to have a new like ongoing Doctor series. So it probably was like, we need these to be as strong as possible. And this episode really, like, this is genuinely one of my favorites of the first season. I think it's some of the best performances from both Billie Piper and Christopher Eccleston too. The way he's able to modulate that anger, but also that sweetness. We didn't even talk about the fact that like when they watch him die the first time, which is also extremely fucked up. I think even if I were a Time Lord, if somebody was like, I want to go watch someone die, not interfere, participate, like at all, just watch it happen, I'd be like, no, we're absolutely not doing that.
And like her whole thing is, I need to go be with him when he dies,
Right.
and she freezes. I'm like, yes, that is the correct reaction to that
Right.
moment. You freeze because it's a horrendous thing to witness.
But I love that he takes her hand, and it's such a sweet, and I know that they end the episode that way too. They sort of end back where they began, but it's such a sweet moment and doesn't feel like, oh, they're a couple. It feels like, I'm a person who cares deeply for you, and I don't want to have to watch you go through this. I love when they show up the second time. She's like, I don't think I can do this. And he's like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And it's like, yes, like, yeah, great. This doctor is a good guy, even though he has a gruff exterior.
He's giving Giles in that moment, and he's
Yes.
just like, the world is hard. This is a kid. And again, that's why it's confusing when sometimes they're romantic. I'm just like, doctor, explain.
Yeah. back off, Doc. but yeah, I genuinely love this episode. I think it's so sweet. This was 2005, so 4 years after that I lost my dad pretty suddenly, and so media like this is very effective to me. And I already said, like, this episode makes me cry several times over the course of its 40 minutes. But yeah, I don't know, it's really special, I think.
It really is. And I love how much you're emphasizing, like, this is a doctor with the gruff exterior and just, like, is that deeply caring sweetheart. Because I think as we go through Russell's first, like, regime of this, I think you're going to see that the 10th Doctor is almost the inverse of that, where he is, like, this happy-go-lucky on the outside guy, but has so much darkness and gruff on the inside at his core. And as the seasons go along, it kind of flips. But y'all, let's get some listener questions. We have a few. Novel from Discord. Hey, Novel. What are your thoughts on Rose's dad playing such a huge role in the show after this episode? Should he have stayed a one-off or not? Dun dun.
I think remaining a one-off makes it more tragic. That's a thing that a lot of shows run into, because like, we want to bring this back, and also timey-wimey in this one, but also sometimes a one and done hurts more.
I think I agree, because I think one thing Russell is really bad at is he will create this beautiful, tragic ending that probably should stay that way, and then he undoes it, like, every single time. I think of this episode, I think of Doomsday, he undoes it. You think of the Donna Noble way down the line, major spoilers.
Yeah, I actually agree with both of you, absolutely. I think the only thought process that they had was, oh, but it's an alternate reality version, and so he can be different and whatnot. And sure, I guess whatever. But yeah, it does lose a little bit of impact when you realize like, oh, he can sort of show up whenever he wants. And it sucks that you have to constantly then write in reasons that he can't, do that. But
Yeah.
on the reverse of that, do you think this is the reason why the doctor tells everybody there's fixed points in time now? Because he's like, actually, I don't even want to fucking deal with this anymore. I'm just going to tell people there's things you can't change, we can't visit.
Probably, and it's just a good excuse for the show to like the timey-wimey of it all.
Yeah.
It's his
he like
because I
everybody
said
that enters the
so.
TARDIS, he's like, do you know somebody who died in like a really intense way? Sorry, we can never go there. It's a fixed point in time.
It's
Oh, I was just gonna say, I will say though, they revisit this idea of visiting a family member with the 13th Doctor, and you know who's not a crazy one who fucks with time and messes things up? Yasmin Khan. That's my girl.
Listen, I think this is also a really cool way of stopping like the new generation who was discovering who from asking why doesn't he ever save his companions? Because then people get eaten at a church. And next question, please. Like,
Because we didn't want to renew their contracts. They had Marvel movies to go do. They were busy. No. Yes, I don't know. But yeah, I do think I wish the Rose's dad had been a one-off. I think there are ways to rewrite things later in series 2 down the line, even though technically it's a different guy. It's a different version of the same guy, whatever. But then we have a fun question that was emailed to us from Sixth Baker. Thank you so much for emailing us. Everyone, email us questions. Start for series 2. Have fun. And I love this question. This story has a very simple setting: the church, the street, and a scene in the flat. So if you were to choose a simple, low budget, mundane setting for a Doctor Who story, what would it be? I mean, the possibilities are endless. I love the mundane.
I already said mine on, I guess it's going to be an upcoming episode. We record these out of order, FYI.
We're Time Lords. We can do that.
Yeah, because I talked about how I would bring Belinda to the club because we didn't get to see her and the 15th Doctor at the club.
Time was rewritten. We need to know those stills of Shooty and Verada in the club shaking their asses. So hot, so beautiful. We need that version.
Full episode just at the club.
The disco ball is the alien.
I never finished old school Who, so I don't know if it's been done or not. But I would like to see them in a diner because I love a tight knit space. And those are just like places where people crack. And so to be stuck in a diner with a waitress who's had it and the patrons who need to probably be hit in the face because they're being awful and not tipping. I think that's an amazing place to be like, minimum wage is also awful while we solve international, intergalactic problems. So like, I just think that'd be a little fun.
I mean, oddly enough, the episode we just recorded out of order that Paige is referencing was Boomtown, where they have that beautiful scene in the restaurant. And I'm like, give us a whole episode of that, Sharai. That is your homework. You have to write that for us. Thank you so much ahead of time.
It needs to be a bottle episode, and it needs to just be this watching the tension rise, like Identity, but in a diner. And
almost like Midnight meets Community.
Yes. And there's one slice of pie, and it's everybody's favorite, and a fight breaks out over that in the middle of everything else. Like,
so Jackie Tyler's winning.
100%. 100%.
She's eating the slice of pie while everyone's fighting over it.
She's feeding it to her wigs, and nobody can take it from her.
Gavin, do you have any episode mundane ideas?
I would set it in a 90s toy store, and then everybody would be like, ooh, something spooky's happening. And I'd be like, leave me alone. I'm in the action figure aisle. I'm just playing with the action figures.
I'm the person breaking in, getting a Game Boy, and starting Pokemon Yellow from the beginning and being like,
there you go.
Leave me alone, everyone. But then Pikachu jumps out. That's how we blow the budget. But yes, oh my goodness. I love that Roofman idea, Gavin. I truly...
Roofman meets the Doctor. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Just because my entire life has been taken over by dogs, I just want an episode where they're at dog school and they get stuck there, but they have to figure out which dog in dog school is the evil alien disguised as a human dog. So this is my pitch for everybody. And spoiler alert, my dog Bosco is the alien.
It's such a Clara episode. Such a Clara episode.
Truly is a Clara. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. She'd be the confused one because if Yaz was there, she would know immediately. That was such a fun question. Thank you so much. And y'all, there's not too many behind the scenes or extra notes. We talked about Simon Pegg was originally cast as Pete Tyler, but because of scheduling, he couldn't be there. He was in the long game instead. You know what? I think we're better off for it, just like the overall timeline. And just because this made me giggle from the TARDIS wiki page, Billie Piper was scared of holding the baby. And you know what? That is Sharai.
Me.
I get it. Children cannot be on set for very long. No, release them. Use a fake baby, which apparently they did. Thank goodness.
It's even funnier though when you think about the fact that like she barely touches that baby and they like yank it away instantly. And so it's like
But
it's
they
even
throw it in
funnier
her
that
arms like that basketball. This is Air
yeah.
Bud right now.
She has so little time to have contact to create the Blinovitch limitation effect, by the way, which is a real named event that it's from the 1920s about two, objects from different timelines being in the same space. Blinovitch limitation effect. Love it.
I love that.
Gavin is actually smart and brings intelligence to this podcast. Well,
I'm just good at memorizing things that I need to know later.
The
I'm
fact that you
good.
know that off the top of your head is so impressive.
Right.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, I'm just if a Looney Tune was an auctioneer.
I am 3 tired girls in a trench coat. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Beautiful. You are a beautiful tired girl in a trench coat. Which forbidden fruit are you?
Pumpkin.
Love that. So, just a couple little notes. The writer Paul Cornell is the creator of the popular spin-off companion Bernice Summerfield. So, everyone check out her novelizations, the audios, they're super popular. Go hit up Big Finish. They always have a sale. There's a new sale every day. And speaking of Big Finish, the current Ninth Doctor Rose audio spinoffs with Christopher Eccleston and Billy, they take place after this episode. That's where the timeline starts. And they're super fun. Sure, I think you're gonna like these because there's like scary shit happening at the Powell estate.
They're so
Ready for it.
good.
Ready for it.
It is so good. Y'all, companions, thank you so much for wandering onto the TARDIS today. I promise we'll finish renovating your rooms after we get off this episode. Let's remind the listeners where they can find you and all your beautiful work. Sharai.
At Miss Sharai on Instagram, sharai.bsky.social. That is the quickest way to find me and just like choose your adventure with my podcast and my articles. It's so much better than listening to them all again because you're all tired. I'm tired.
We love a link tree, you know?
Listen.
Gavin, remind the beautiful people where they can hear you, check out all your wonderful work, maybe some of the chaotic stuff we've done.
The Q Division podcast, the Mixed Reviews podcast, and you can find me at it's Gavin on Blue Sky or Gavin Mev at Instagram. It's actually Gavin Mev technically, but I don't because my last name's pronounced Mevius, but I do Mev to make it easier for people to spell GAVINMEV. But yeah, you can find all that stuff. But seriously, listen to both the Mixed Reviews and the Q Division. We have such a great time, and continue listening to this show. This show is amazing with 2 amazing hosts.
You all
thank
are
you
so
so
kind.
much.
This is how you get your invites back. We'll work on scheduling for series 2 after this.
Even if I could never come back, I would still say it. I love you both.
We're going to fix up your room on the TARDIS, make it even nicer.
We're going to give you those vaulted ceilings.
You're going to put it near the red pool because I can see red.
You can see red. Fine. You get extra glitter at the party. And thank you for listening to Across the Whoniverse. We can be found wherever you listen to your podcast. Please make sure to rate and review our show. You can find us on Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr. Links are in the show notes for all of this stuff, by the way, so you don't have to remember how to spell Gavin's name. It's fine. Or you can email us at acrossthewhoniversepod@gmail.com. Paige, remind the Time Lords where else they can find you and your lovely work.
Let's see. They can find me at Thoughts by Paige on Blue Sky. I am Hey Smithers on Tumblr when I remember I have one. I am Paige Noel Kaiser on Instagram. I am also on the My Stories Are On feed with Chels and our friends Jesse and Owen talking mostly about reality TV and soaps. I also have a Substack you can subscribe to that's called Girlhood and Low Resolution. which is about being a girl on the internet in the 2000s.
Right during this time. And I'm Chels725 on the Blue Sky, serialized, sometimes letterbox, probably just for the Julie Andrews stuff I've done for the mixed reviews lately. And I'm Chels Eichels on Instagram. And if you can find my Tumblr, you're stronger than a Reaper. And you can listen to me and my fellow companion / agent Gavin on the Q Division, a James Bond movie marathon podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Where I'm also on And a Rewatch Pod, where we rewatch a bunch of our favorite shows. I really set myself up for failure with these sentences. But no, me and Jen were going through Karen Gillan's tragically canceled Selfie. We're going to talk about the tragically canceled show Sweet Vicious from a decade ago. Oh, Sharai. This is a Sharai show, by the way. And then we are actually going to have a little format breaking episode about filler episodes and slow burn romances because guess what, y'all? We missed 22 episode seasons. We also missed 13 episode seasons of Doctor Who. And then, of course, my stories are on with Paige. It's a good time there. We're silly billies. And be sure to join us for our next adventure across space and time as we revisit The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances. So until next time, we'll see you in the time vortex.
Bye.